I finally had a chance to look through some of the comments. We have a couple things to talk about. Hi, Brian from Airflow Music here once again. Welcome back to another video. This is day 31 of our Go Practice Daily series. So at this point, day 31, we're in uncharted territory because the longest daily series I've done up to this point was the 30 days of long tones. So we've now surpassed that. And so we're going to keep on going for a little while. As I said at the end of yesterday's video, it's my intention to keep these videos going indefinitely for the time being, although as my touring schedule picks back up, it may well be possible that I don't get to make them every day of every week, depending on how the traveling thing is. But we'll see how we get on. I'm still going to try. We'll see if it's even possible. Okay? So, like I said up front, I've just been reading through some of the comments before I filmed this, and a couple of things to talk about. First of all, thank you to all of you who commented yesterday, following my brief thoughts about the Caruso method and some of the things we look for there. And, you know, certainly I get it. A large part of that methodology seems to have been that, you know, if you put in the work, the sound will come on its own in time. My take on that is that, yes, while that's true, I think we can do better by trying to play with a beautiful sound and then using that methodology to lock it in and really make that a consistent thing. That's the way I like to approach it. That was the discussion I had briefly with Victor Paz many years ago. And that was certainly his kind of approach to that, from what I understood. So, you know, slightly different things. And also, as some of you said, you know, it's not just about, you know, making things happen. It's about dealing with the connectivity between notes. And that's certainly what I'm all about, as you know. If you watched any of my other videos, I'm all about trying to play as smoothly as possible and keep these things connected, whether or not there's an articulation involved. Okay? Now, the other thing that was lovely to read is that, you know, there's so many of you who have found this series a way to kind of really get you back on track with practicing. And, you know, that's really been the experience for me as well. So, you know, it's good to know that it's not just me, but conversely, let me say out loud, it's not just you that's been struggling to kind of keep your head in the game as we come out of this pandemic and all of this kind of stuff and get back on track and practice regularly and have that routine going again. You're not the only one. There's so many of us out here who are dealing with the same thing, okay? So I just wanted to reassure you of that. If you weren't sure, it's evident to me now that, you know, I was kind of feeling that way too. Like, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me that's struggling with this. But I realise now that it's not. So you should realise the same thing. Anyway, with that, let's get into the exercises for today, okay? So we are doing set 5 right now. So this is set 5, exercise 1. If you don't have set 5 yet, of course, you can find a link in the description box below to go download it at the Airflow Music Online store, okay? But let's get into exercise 1. This is the same thing that we've been doing, and as ever, we are going at 60 beats a minute and focusing on playing in time. So I am tapping my foot and subdividing the beat to fill in the gaps. I'm breath starting the first note of every phrase, and I'm breathing in time on the rest bar. I'm playing this as a long setting. I know most of you are at least working towards doing that, even though it's a pretty long setting. So all my breaths are nose breaths. Okay, what else do I need to say? Today I am recording this video somewhere close to 9 o'clock at night, so I can't be making a lot of noise for my neighbours. So I'm playing this softly with a cup mute in. Okay? Whatever problems that brings me, we will see. But that's what I'm doing. Okay? You must do as you wish or as you need. Anyway, let's get into exercise 1. That was exercise 1. How did you get on with that one today? For me, it was okay. I didn't have the opportunity to get into this today until the end of my day, having already taught some lessons earlier on and then had to do some recording here in the studio. It's just the way this day went. I needed to get those things done before I had time to stop and record these exercises. So it's not my preferred way of doing it these days. And someone else had commented that they were struggling with these somewhat because they had something they were specifically working on. And in the case of practicing something like that, if possible, unless my schedule was such that I needed to get my recording done by a certain time to get it submitted. So that's why I wasn't able to do these first. Usually, if I had a little more flexibility in my schedule, I would have done that. And if you're practicing something specific, don't leave these exercises until afterwards, particularly if it's demanding, because they will set you up really well to feel good practicing the demanding thing that you've got to practice. So that's the way around that I would do that. And that's the way around that I usually like to do that. But different days, different things are possible. That was just how it was for me today. These had to get done at the end of the day. I get it. Okay? So, with that, let's move on to exercise 2. Now, exercise 2, I'm increasing the tempo again today. It became clear to me that I needed to do that just for myself. We've now got a version of this recorded at 60 beats a minute and 2 versions at 72. I think it's 2 versions. Maybe even 3 by this point. I lose track of what day it is. But anyway, there's plenty of slower versions of this if the new tempo, which is going to be 80 beats a minute, feels a little fast to you. I wanted to get back to 80 beats a minute and get the 16th notes working at that tempo. And, I may stick there through the end of this set for the next few days, or I may yet move it up one more notch. We'll see. We'll see how we get on. But I think it's worthwhile to try and do that to really start to get the air moving a little more smoothly. Okay? So that's what I'm doing. So this is set 5 exercise 2. Today we are going at 80 beats a minute. Other than that, everything is the same. It's 3 bars of 16th notes. The first bar is slurred, second bar is tongued, and the third bar 2 beats each, slurring, then tonguing. And then on the 2 bars rest, this is not a long setting exercise, so take the mouthpiece off your lips and reset and make that downbeat after the 2 bars rest. Okay? Other than that, not too much else to say, apart from the fact that once again I'm going kind of soft and playing this in a cut mute. You must do as you wish. That was exercise 2. Okay, so that went, I was pleased to have done it at a faster tempo like that and get it moving. It revealed a couple of things to me. Some, inconsistencies, and, I'm on the edge of being able to control that the way I want to. Which is why it's good to move it up there, because I was feeling pretty comfortable at 72 BPM. So it was good for me to move up to 80. It meant I played it less well on the whole, but, stuff was still okay. But there was a couple of moments where things just got away from me. I didn't start making the slur smoothly, or it kind of went off on its own like a runaway train a couple of times, and it was hard to stop it. So this is why I need to practice these things, to really bring them under control and make sure that I'm doing these things intentionally. And so that's why it's worthwhile. That's why I'm enjoying doing that. So how did you make out with the 16th notes, the semiquavers at 80 beats a minute? How did you find that? It is definitely a little bit brisker. It kind of ups the level a little bit. So, but I think that's good for all of us to do that. So, and as I said, if you really need it slower, we've done that in previous days, so you can go back and check those videos if you want to play along. Okay? So, I'd love to hear your thoughts about that and hear how you're getting on with it. Beyond that, that's going to be it for this one, so we can keep it vaguely short. So, as usual, if you've enjoyed this video and found the exercises helpful, then please do hit the like button. and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm going to be back tomorrow with day 32, and until then, I think you know by now very well what to do. Go practice.